Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this episode, we're getting into the Bulleit Bottled and Bond. And what's interesting about this one is it's the first release by Bulleit that hasn't been sourced. It's their own distillate. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. I'm Tuck, and this is Bourbon Broke. Again, this is the Bulleit Bottled and Bond, and since it's a bottled and bond, we know it's 100 proof. It has a 7-year age statement on it. As far as the SRP, it's $55. And as far as a secondary, I don't think we're going to see any kind of a secondary on this one. I mean, even though they consider this an experimental edition and a limited release, I don't think we're going to see a secondary because they did say that there's going to be another release of this coming out later on this year in 2025. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get into it and see how it is. So like with most of my episodes, I haven't tried this yet. Poured some out in the Glencairn a couple hours ago just to let it open up and air out. So anyway, let's see how this one is. And you know, I have to admit, I'm not a huge Bulleit fan. Actually, their American single malt was okay, but their regular offerings, I do like the rye better than I do the bourbon. But you know, you'll see them in most bars. And I normally don't get it. It's, I guess I look at it as more of a mixer than anything, but anyway, I'm looking forward to this one since it's their, first distillate. They've been in business. They've opened up back in, 1987 and sourced everything since then, mostly from MGP. And if memory serves me correctly, I believe Four Roses, they had sourced some from them, but mostly MGP. But anyway, let's see how their own is. See how the nose is. Kind of light. A light fruit on there, just a touch of oak. There's a little bit of a sweeter spice. I'm going to say more like a nutmeg in here. Definitely a lighter fruit. Lemon, orange. Yeah, there's some orange on that nose, definitely. Anyway, not too bad though. It's, like I said, it's a light nose. It's 100 proof, but let's see how it is on the palate. Get on the palate. That's interesting. There's a nice little spice in there, and I had just a small little burst of mint when that first hit the palate. That was interesting. That oak's coming through more on the palate. It's 7 years. Well, I'm getting a lot of orange in there. Not like a strong orange fruit, more like an orange peel, I think. Like a dry orange. I think that sweeter spice on the nose, that like nutmeg, for me, is turning into a little bit more cinnamon on the palate. Oak's coming through a little bit more. Man, there's a lot of orange in there though. It has a little bit of a decent, viscosity in there, which I was not expecting. Really, this isn't bad at all. It's nothing that's just blowing me away, but, I think it's decent, especially for their first, distillate that they did themselves. I'll tell you, that finish, for only being 100 proof, that finish, it lasts pretty good. It lasts pretty long. Yeah, a little bit more. The oak carries more into the finish as well as that spice. And again, it's not that sweet spice that was on the nose. It's more of like that cinnamon, maybe turning to like a little bit of like an allspice, like a baking spice on the finish. This one's interesting. Very fruity, that light fruit, like I said, that orange. And while this one Might be a decent sipper, definitely better than the regular offerings, no question about that. But with the orange in here, I can see this in like an old fashioned, when you have your muddled orange in an old fashioned. And normally I will go with a rye in my old fashioned so I can get that spice, especially a little bit higher proof rye. I like the Pikesville rye from my old fashions, 110 proof. But I like that spice to offset the sweetness of the orange and the simple syrup or sugar cube or whatever you put in your old fashions. But this, with that orangish note in there, I think this would be good in an old fashioned. And I normally don't drink mixed drinks. Once in a while I'll have a old fashioned, but it's kind of rare. I always drink neat. But when friends come over and order some old fashions up at the bar, I'm going to try this and see what they think of it. That might be where this one really sticks very well at. But overall, it's not bad. It's decent. I think as far as a rating on this one, it's a good price point, $55. I wish it was a little bit less. I'd like to see this more in that 45 range or so. I think I'm going to go a 7.8 on this. It's not bad. It's a decent sipper. Not something that, as I'd mentioned, not something that blows me away or anything like that. But it's good, and I can't wait to, taste more of their own distillate that they come out with. And after this opens up a little bit, I'm looking forward to going back to it and seeing how it is as well. But yeah, I'm glad I bought this. Not bad at all. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did drinking it. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything at all, and I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to check out some Bourbon Broke stuff, just go to bourbonbroke.com and check out everything on there. That's it for tonight, and remember, keep your friends close and your bourbon closer. Cheers.